Hi, welcome to Sean vs. Media, and today we're going to get a little Swifty. That's right, today I'm talking about Taylor Swift. At this point, Taylor Swift is the biggest artist in the whole industry. She has sold more than 13 million albums. She's the top-selling digital artist in the music industry, and she has won 12 Grammys. But the biggest artist in the world doesn't come without any controversy. And today I'm going to talk about them. I'm also going to talk about the redemption that comes with it. I should note, this isn't a hit piece on Taylor Swift, so Swifties, don't come after me. I swear, I'm not going to just be hating Taylor Swift all over this video, because haters going to hate, alright? But I ain't one of them. This is simply an analysis on why people tend to hate her, but I'm also going to talk about things that people love about Taylor Swift as well. So without further ado, this is my first installment of Easy to Hate, Hard to Love. Let's begin. Taylor Allison Swift was born on December 15th, 1989 in West Reading, Pennsylvania. She's named after singer-songwriter James Taylor. She began interested in musical theater at age 9 and traveled to New York City on a regular basis for vocal lessons. She would perform at a local coffee shop every summer until she was 14 years old, where she started songwriting professionally. So it wasn't until she saw a documentary about Faith Hill where she decided to actually take this songwriting gig seriously. Where there has been some ups and downs, it wasn't until Scott Borchella, oh, don't come at me, again, stop, sorry, alright, this is the only time I'm going to mention his name, okay, I promise. Found her performing at a industry showcase and was interested in having Taylor Swift be his first signee to his new independent label, Big Machine Records. When I say independent, I mean independent. Taylor Swift and her mom had to promote her song Tim McGraw all by themselves. It was kind of like a rough, kind of independent startup for her. As soon as she released Teardrops on My Guitar and Our Song, she quickly became the biggest name in country. But it wasn't until she released You Belong With Me via album Fearless where she hit the pop charts. Now, this is where the controversy begins. In the 2009 VMAs, Taylor Swift won Best Female Video for You Belong With Me. And honestly, it's a great video. I love the whole rom-com thing that she had going on. I love how she played multiple characters. Honestly, I see no other video that came out that year or the year before that was even remotely better.
Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
According to her documentary Miss Americana, this was Taylor Swift's turning point. She thought the crowd was booing her and not Kanye. She mentions how she spent half her teenage years with nothing but positive support, and this moment itself defines the rest of her career. Taylor Swift felt like she had something to prove. So in 2010, she released Speak Now. Still in her country era, this was still a really sad era. She really wanted to speak more into the critics and the negativity that was being shown to her. She even proved one of the critics being that she doesn't write everything by herself by writing everything in the album. Soon after that, she started dating John Mayer, and we're gonna get back to him really soon, which reminds me. Red was released on October 22nd, 2012, and features both I Knew You Were Trouble and Never Ever Given Back Together. But this is around the time where people start to assume that every song that Taylor Swift releases is about some guy that she dated, which again, a big opinion that I'm gonna have, which I will run around to later. Now for the meat and potatoes, or the burgers and fries. Between 2009 and 2014, you can see a lot of pictures and videos of Taylor Swift and Katy Perry being friends, hugging, but soon after that, things changed. What happened? Remember when I mentioned John Mayer like 2 seconds ago? Alright, well, let's start with this again, alright? A while after Taylor Swift and John Mayer broke up, Katy Perry and John Mayer also got together. Personally, I feel like this must have bothered Taylor Swift, or it got to her head a bit, and this is why this feud happened, and not only that, for a very long time. Because for a while, Taylor Swift and Katy Perry were not talking. What happened? Well, in 2013, Taylor Swift was starting her Red Tour, and according to sources, Swift felt that Katy attempted to ruin it. How? By dancers. No, really, by dancers. Let me explain. According to Taylor, Katy tried to hire her dancers out from her when in reality, Katy only hired her dancers for her tour. Which, by the way, allegedly, Katy Perry had these dancers before Taylor Swift had them. To even quote one of the dancers from OK Magazine, Katy's like family to us. So we were like, absolutely. They also mentioned how they barely even danced in Taylor Swift's tour, so they're like, why not go on tour with Katy Perry? Like, we're like best friends, basically. Like, let's just do most of our work at that tour. So after 6 months of touring with Taylor Swift, they joined Katy Perry for her Prismatic tour. I personally feel like Taylor Swift was looking like the bad guy here, especially since she wasn't really confrontational around this time. She would dodge Katy Perry like all the time. And just because of that, it lasted for almost 10 whole years, like this whole rivalry. Like, dude, like, talk to Katy Perry about this. Be a grown person. Also, the dancers claim that Katy Perry is like family to her. Like, of course, if she asked to be on another tour, I would say yes too, if it was someone like much closer. And they were bored, like, obviously. And like, why even put this on Katy Perry if the dancers wanted to do something else? Personally, I feel like, and I'm sorry, but Taylor Swift kind of looked like the bitter ex-girlfriend in here. I know, I'm sorry, okay? I know, shut up. I'm sorry. Like, I feel like she made a whole lot of something from nothing, even to the point of making a song about this situation. Dude, you're gonna make a whole song about Katy Perry before even talking to her? Like, I get that she was young around this time, but like, there has to be some type of level of maturity when it comes to this. Which in turn made Katy Perry make Swish Swish. That's Taylor Swift's fault? We got Swish Swish because of this feud? Oh my god.
Swish Swish just basically is like, I stay winning. I just like, I'm above that crap. I'm going to stay winning.
Was saying that that's your little diss against Taylor Swift.
It's not about any one
Taylor Swish.
thing.
What's the story with that? You two grown adults. Y'all can't put this feud to bed. What's the story?
I did try and reach out to her. I tried to do the great thing, the good thing. And, she shut me down and wrote a song.
And then she brought Calvin Harris, and of all people, into this feud. So I guess they dated, which, like, okay. But apparently Taylor Swift co-wrote This Is What You Came For, featuring Rihanna. Banger. But she co-wrote it under a name of... I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. Not even sure why she would choose this name as well. So apparently it got leaked that Taylor Swift co-wrote the song with Calvin Harris. And for some reason, Calvin Harris got so defensive about this, like blaming Taylor Swift for leaking it, even though she kept it as a secret. Like, yeah, she didn't deny it, but like, it wasn't until after it leaked where she was like, yeah, that's me. But he got so defensive, he got so defensive on Twitter, like out of nowhere, like claiming that Taylor Swift or her team, whoever it might be, that they leaked the information that Taylor Swift co-wrote This Is What You Came For. Like, this is the tweet that he said, okay? Hurtful to me at this point that her and her team will go so far out of their way to try to make me look bad at this stage. And then he writes, I figured you are happy with your new relationship. You should focus on that instead of trying to tear your ex-boyfriend down for something to do. And then he tries to get Katy Perry into the situation. It doesn't matter. The tweets are deleted, but Anyways, back to Kanye. In 2016, Kanye West released his song Famous, which his famous line reads, believe it or not, there was backlash. So Kanye went on Twitter. Apparently he asked Taylor Swift for permission to use the lines, but there was still damage. A lot of people that's on Taylor Swift's squad, as I would say, defending her on the things that Kanye West was saying. And honestly, I feel like a lot of it boiled down to when he first interrupted her at the VMAs in 2009. So obviously there was going to be a problem. People wouldn't believe him when he said that he asked permission for this. Like, you're kind of already off the boat. And then Taylor Swift responds at the Grammys.
There are going to be people along the way who will try to undercut your success or take credit for your accomplishments or your fame. But if you just focus on the work and you don't let those people sidetrack you, someday when you get where you're going, you'll look around and you will know that it was you and the people who love you who put you there.
This is when Kim Kardashian comes in. Even she was like, hey, Kanye did ask if he could put that line in his song Famous. Everything kept going back and forth until July 2016, when Kim Kardashian released a video of Kanye West talking to Taylor Swift on the phone for about an hour, talking about the line on his song Famous.
For all my Southside niggas that know me best, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex.
I mean, it's like a compliment, kind of.
Yeah. What I give a fuck about is just you as a person and as a friend. I want things that make you feel good. I don't want to do rap that makes people feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, go with whatever line you think is better. It's obviously very tongue-in-cheek either way.
This video gave a lot of heat to Taylor Swift. People were calling her a liar. People were calling her fake. All these names is bad enough that people were already trying to find reasons to hate this girl. And this video gave people more reasons to hate her. But in Taylor Swift's defense, Kanye West asked her, talking about having with her because I made her famous, but he never mentioned the B word that he calls her in the song, and that's what offended Taylor Swift the most. Because believe it or not everyone likes to be called that word, and some people are like, oh, it's just a word, you shouldn't care. No, some people do not like that word. Trust me, there are some people that don't like being called that. Which leads me to Reputation. Reputation, as we know now, it's iconic, I would say, depending on who you ask. Me personally, not a fan. And honestly, listening to it, you can kind of hear this is Taylor Swift's breaking point. She just seemed tired of everything that was being jumped on her. The critics being negative about her, tabloids talking about her weight. It was just everything on top of another, including the Kanye West situation, to the point where she even made a song about Kanye West. She titled, "This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things." Some of the songs on his album kind of feels like a mental breakdown. All this negativity that's going towards this woman. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna clap back. Look what you made me do. Sorry, the old Taylor Swift is dead. Why? Because she's dead. Whatever she said. But I feel like coming into this industry at a very young age and then getting negative heat can be very damaging to your brain. At such a young age, experiencing all of this, of course she's gonna make Reputation. This was inevitable. Also, that line, the old Taylor Swift, that line's so cringy. Say what you will about the song. I know it was polarizing, but that whole line, so cringy. Apparently she wasn't really that happy with the album afterwards. Obviously she'll still sing or perform these songs live, but the album in full, she's not really happy with. And I think it's mainly because the album didn't get nominated for any Grammys that year.
Good morning.
I've just been running up and down stairs, trying not to think about you calling me with Grammy nomination.
Right now, big categories of album, record, song. You are not nominated.
I just need to make a better record.
Well, Reputation is a great record.
No, I'm making a better record.
Now again, not saying I'm a huge fan of this album, but there's a lot of albums that I'll consider a classic that hasn't even touched a Grammy nomination. But that's what she wanted. She did win some awards for Reputation. The fact that she didn't even get nominated for a Grammy for Reputation, it kind of hurt her. But the best you can do is move on, and that's what she did. Now, before I move on to everything that happened after Reputation, I want to talk about something that's the main thing that people always claim as a problem with Taylor Swift, and that's the fact that she dates a lot of people. I can't believe I'm going to mention this, but Taylor Swift dates a lot of people. And for some reason, that's a big problem. A big shocker that a celebrity dates around. Okay. How dare she date so many men? It was even to the point where people started saying that she was the problem. Like, maybe she's the one getting dumped. But they don't think about the men that she dates, you know? And I feel like it's like the most misogynistic thing to think about the fact that all these relationships failed simply because of Taylor Swift. And I was on that train too, like, I'll admit. But like, thinking about it now, it's like the most misogynistic thing to really think about. Because like, what about the guys that she dated? Also, why should we even care how many people that she dates? Why should we care about the men that she dates? Which leads me to Matt Healy. Matt Healy and Taylor Swift. Why does this matter? Matt Healy is the frontman of the UK band, the 1975, and he also doesn't come without any controversy. So I guess earlier in 2023, it was shown that he was doing the salute on stage. And while it was in response to Kanye West supporting, it was still in bad taste. Also, I guess he like kissed a lot of people on stage, but like I feel like that's a reach because I've seen worse people do worse things on stage. Plus, I heard it was also consensual. Like everyone was asked if it was okay, and apparently all of them said yes. So I'm not really sure why people were offended by that. The big thing I remember was him being on this podcast I'm not going to name, where they were criticizing Ice Spice and saying some really xenophobic and racist stuff around it as well. And I'm not going to name the podcast. I feel like he was at the wrong place at the wrong time because I heard that it wasn't even him saying these jokes. It was the people in the podcast, but like, don't go on a podcast that has history of being this cringeworthy. He also got a lot of hate for quoting and linking his song Love It If You Made It during the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020, which to me is like, dude, that's so insensitive. Like, read the room. That no one cares about your song right now. We care about social injustice and equality like right now. Like, no one cares about your song. Like, that's like the most too woke to function thing I've ever seen. And that's what I think of Matt Healy. Like, he's kind of an idiot because of that. But like, it's not the first time I've seen that. I've seen several other white people in real life being too woke to function, not realizing what they're saying as well. Like, he's an idiot. But like, it's not the first idiot that Taylor Swift dated. And like, who am I to judge who she dates? It's like her personal love life. If she sees him more than what his life portrays on the internet, then so be it. But I guess they broke up, so, you know. Anyways, let's talk about the good stuff. After Reputation, she released 3 more albums, 2 of them being Folklore and Evermore, which were a huge redemption arc. People loved it. It was critically acclaimed. It felt more in her roots. I know I wasn't going to mention the other guy I mentioned in the beginning, but she's been releasing Taylor's versions of those albums in the past few years, and that seems to have gotten praise as well. She even released a 10-minute version of All Too Well, which got a lot of praise and showed that like, it doesn't matter how long the song is. If someone likes it, they will like it. And like, it got so popular around 2020, 2021. She went on to release Midnights, which is a personal favorite of mine. I know a lot of people don't really like it that much, but I like the sound quality of it. Anti-Hero is the biggest song off the album, and while the video shows a little bit of body shaming, which like, why? Taylor, you were so close. I know that Taylor Swift has had history of body dysmorphia and problems with her weight, but this wasn't it. I feel like it could have been talked about in a tamer fashion than what she displayed in the video. It just came off as being body shaming. So for years, Taylor Swift has kept her political views shut, and it was mostly because of what the public did to the chicks when they expressed their feelings on George Bush. According to Taylor Swift, you can't really talk about political views that much in the country scene. But by the time Lover came around, that's when she announced that she was more towards the left of political views. Since then, she's been strongly passionate about her views. Whether it was feminism, homophobia, equal rights, she's been very open about her political views.
She votes against fair pay for women. She votes against the reauthorization of the Violence Against Women Act, which is just basically protecting us from domestic abuse and stalking. She thinks that if you're a gay couple, or even if you look like a gay couple, you should be allowed to be kicked out of a restaurant. It's really basic human rights, and it's right and wrong at this point, and I can't see another commercial and see her disguising these policies behind the words Tennessee Christian values. Those aren't Tennessee Christian values.
Also, people really appreciate how she can change her sound a lot. Like, Reputation doesn't sound like Folklore, Lover doesn't sound like Speak Now, Midnight doesn't sound like 1989. Taylor Swift is the biggest artist in the world for a reason, and honestly, I think that she deserves it. So anyways, who should I talk about next? I really love doing research about Taylor Swift, so I would love to do this again. Just comment below. Also, if you subscribe, that helps so much. It'll help motivate me more to do more stuff like this. My next video is going to be more nostalgic based, but I hope you guys will stay tuned. Anyways, much love and have a great day.